Rick Perry is a former fellow governor and a fellow candidate for president. But that's not all. He most recently served at the U.S. Department of Energy as Secretary of Energy. I want you to welcome my friend, former Texas Governor Rick Perry. Man, they like you here.
Oh, man.
They just don't know you as well as I do. I think that's it.
The Tennessee folks, we have a lot of fun with Tennessee, and I'm honest. I tell them, I said, look, I get it. If it hadn't been for Tennessee, there wouldn't be no Texas, right? Davy Crockett, Sam Houston,
there you go.
You go through the list of, and that's true. So we're pretty good partners. Until it comes to baseball, and then, my beloved Texas Aggies and the University of Tennessee, we were playing for the national championship, and we came up a little short this time.
That's all right.
Just a touch.
As Energy Secretary, you took the policies of Donald Trump. You guys made America energy independent for the first time in 75 years. We were actually exporting energy instead of importing it, and it was transformational to this country.
One of the interesting things that people always ask me is, what's it like working for Donald Trump? And one of the smartest men I ever was around in my life. And when I went in to talk to him in 2016, I guess, in November 2016, and we had a pretty short conversation. It didn't last that long. And he leaned across the table and he said, Perry, I want you to go do for America Energy what you did for Texas. And I was like, okay, I got it. You want me to go sell America's energy around the world? And I mean, he gets it so quickly. And it's kind of like, here's what I want you to do. And then he goes on and takes on another, project, whatever he's working on.
Don't you think
he totally gets it?
He's a big picture guy. He doesn't micromanage everybody around him. I mean, I don't think he probably told you how many cubic feet of LNG to ship out to Europe.
Yeah, listen, I mean, he truly understood that if you will free the energy industry from overtaxation, overregulation, over litigation, that you're going to explode. And that's exactly what we did. So we got an administration now that's put a pause on LNG,
liquefied natural
gas, that is going to our allies around the world, creating massive amounts of jobs in Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, in those states where fossil fuels are still really important to the economic growth. And President Trump understood that, and that's what people can expect. We will go back to the policies of putting people to work, of giving folks a real incentive to go help our allies around the world. I mean, the LNG pause that's on now under the Biden administration, it's hurting two groups. It's hurting American workers, and it's hurting our allies around the world. Wherever those allies might be that would be getting that clean burning American natural gas, the Russians are coming right in behind, or the Iranians. That's who this helps. So, President Trump gets it. I mean, he totally understands the energy picture, and he sees a lot of different pictures very clearly. Whether it's energy side of things, whether it's the border, being a border governor back in the day, we saw this problem happening. I want to say like in 2012, 2013, and I met with President Obama. Matter of fact, I met him on the ramp at an airport in Dallas, and I won't say I lectured him, but I talked to him pretty straight about this border problem is out of control. Children were coming up literally on the backs of trains, Governor, and they're being abused, they're being sexually trafficked, and that was when we had the opportunity to tap the brakes, so to speak. And the Obama administration didn't, they didn't do anything to help. Trump came in, and we put policies into place. And whether it was building a wall to be able to, particularly in the metropolitan areas and in those urban areas, as a barrier, and then using quick response teams, drones. We have the technology now, Mike, to be able to shut that border down. It's just we don't have the will in Washington, D.C.
What a shame.
Governor Abbott's doing everything that he can in Texas, but it's not Texas' responsibility solely to protect the border.
He's acting like he's having to take on the federal government's job. You said something a moment ago that I want to just revisit, because you mentioned that when the Biden administration really put a hiatus on fracking and getting the LNG out of the ground and really putting a squeeze on our energy industry, it opened it up for Russia and Iran. What have we seen happen? When they got rich, Russia went into Ukraine, Iran funded Hezbollah, Hamas, and murdered a bunch of Jewish people in Israel. There's a connection.
There is not a vacuum out there that doesn't get filled.
Yeah.
And when that energy that's going to be used all around the world, when it comes and enriches places like Putin's Russia and the Anatolia's Iran, and who, whether it's in Yemen or whether it's the Houthis or whether it's in the Hezbollah north of Israel or Hamas over in Gaza, all of that is being funded with Iranian money. And I will suggest to you probably Russians as well. I mean, there's a cabal out there.
Yeah.
Russia, China, and Iran against the West. And everybody knows that. I mean, the idea that you sent literally billions of dollars to the Iranians right after Biden got into office.
Yeah.
I mean, holy mackerel. I mean, how treacherous is that for our allies and our friends? And best I can tell, the alternative to Biden, the Vice President, Kamala Harris, is even going to be farther to the left on this issue.
The new Green Deal is something she champions.
Holy mackerel.
How long, let's just say Trump gets reelected, how long after taking office would we start seeing prices for our energy, whether it's gasoline for our vehicles, our heating and cooling our homes, how long before we would see some relief that we haven't seen in the past 4 years?
Well, I think the relief starts pretty quick, but I've got a shorter period of time. It's how long until Donald Trump puts his signature on an executive order that frees up American energy to get back into the marketplace. And that'll be about 15 minutes after he sits down in the Oval Office as the 47th President of the United States. And that, I think, is to me, I mean, I don't want to get too political here, but I don't understand how anyone who really cares about America from an economic standpoint could support policies that are anti-American energy. This idea that somehow or another our energy industry is bad for the climate. American natural gas is the cleanest burning fuel that's out there. If you really cared about the environment, I think you would see all of these radical environmentalists talking about we need to be incentivizing small modular reactors, but you don't hear that.
Yeah.
All they say is we don't like fossil fuels bad. But China and Iran, y'all go ahead with your coal burning plants and all the stuff that you're doing out there. It just doesn't make any sense, Governor. There's got to be something deeper into their philosophy than what I see on the surface. And I don't want to get too conspiratorial here.
No, but you know what, I think you've made the point. This isn't just about party politics, and it's not even about personalities. It is about policies. The policies is what we really vote on.
Yeah. And if you're a Pennsylvania union worker, if you're a Louisiana union worker, and we got great union men and women in Texas, and listen, I hadn't always gotten along with the unions while I was governor. The Teamsters almost every time supported me because I was about creating jobs.
Yeah.
That's what Donald Trump's about. Donald Trump is about freeing America, freeing them from over-taxation, over-regulation, over-litigation, having a skilled workforce, basically competition out there for our public schools, and that's his story. And I love my country. I don't mind working with Democrats. I'm not going to change my philosophy. I'm not a governor anymore, so I don't have that. But when I was, we worked together, and I guarantee you, Donald Trump will work with the Democrats. If you'll come and sit down with us, he'll work with them. because he's got a vision. He knows where he wants to take America. He knows what the future of America can look like. But at the basis of our country, if you don't get the energy industry side of it right, if you don't get the economics of industry, of the fossil fuel industry right, you're going to be in trouble.
That's why
everything is tied to that.
It's why I wanted you to come, and I hope you promise to come back and see me again sometime.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to keep up with Governor Rick Perry, head over to Huckabee.tv, click on his guest page. We have links to let you know more about what he's up to and why you ought to follow him.